Imagine waking up tomorrow to the news that the single most significant economic event of our lifetime has just happened. An event so profound it doesn't just shift markets on a screen, but fundamentally alters the financial destiny of millions of people around the globe. And the key to that transformation was sitting in your possession all along. This isn't a scene from a speculative science fiction movie. This is the very real, palpable anticipation that has gripped the entire Iraqi Dinar investment community following the long-awaited publication of Iraq's federal budget for 2025. For months, arguably for years, every discussion, every analysis, and every glimmer of hope within this space has pointed towards this exact moment. The moment where the government of Iraq, through its parliamentary process, would lay out its financial blueprint for the nation, and in doing so, would be forced to confront the elephant in the room that it has skillfully navigated around for over 2 decades, the official exchange rate of its currency. The budget is not merely a dry document filled with incomprehensible numbers and bureaucratic jargon. It is the nation's financial heartbeat, a declaration of its priorities, its ambitions, and its economic standing on the world stage. And within that document, specifically in the lines detailing projected oil revenues, which still form the overwhelming backbone of Iraq's income, and the allocations for massive infrastructure projects, lies a critical, unspoken tension. You see, Iraq has been functionally operating with a dual currency reality, the official rate pegged by the Central Bank of Iraq for years at 1,320 dinars to the US dollar, and the often wildly different rate on the parallel market, the street rate, which reflects the true, unfiltered pressure of supply, demand, and local confidence. This discrepancy isn't just a minor economic inefficiency, it is a massive drag on the entire economy, creating a hidden tax on imports, distorting the true cost of projects, and acting as a constant reminder of the monetary schism that prevents the country from achieving true financial sovereignty and integration with the global system. So, when the budget was finally published and analysts and investors like you and me scoured every page, the first and most urgent question was not merely about how much money was allocated for schools or hospitals, but what foundational number they used to calculate all of those figures. Did they boldly adopt a new, revalued rate that reflects the nation's true potential and buried assets, or did they cautiously stick to the old familiar peg, kicking the can of monetary reform further down the road? The answer to that question is the Rosetta Stone for understanding the immediate future of the Iraqi dinar. Initial reports and a surface-level reading might lead to disappointment for those expecting a specific, high number to be explicitly printed, but that is where a deeper, more nuanced analysis becomes absolutely critical. The Central Bank of Iraq and the government have been engaged in a delicate, multi-year dance with the International Monetary Fund and World Bank, a dance focused on meeting specific benchmarks for economic stability, transparency, and the reduction of dollar dependence. The budget itself is a powerful tool in this process, and the chosen exchange rate within it is not a random selection, but a strategically calculated signal of intent. By analyzing the total dinar amount allocated for projects when converted from their dollar-denominated costs, we can reverse engineer the government's operational assumption for the dinar's value. This is not about a public announcement of an RV, this is about the quiet, procedural laying of the final groundwork. The budget's passage, especially with allocations that only make logical and fiscal sense under a stronger currency regime, is the de facto parliamentary approval for the monetary reform that the CBI has been telegraphing. It is the legislative anchor that the central bank needed to finally execute the long-planned transition from a program rate to a market-driven, internationally recognized value, a value that aligns with Iraq's vast wealth in oil, gas, and minerals, not the artificial constraints of a post-war economy. This is the real story hidden within the budget's dry text, and it points towards a finale that is closer than ever before. So let's dive into the mechanics of this, because understanding the whole is what separates informed hope from blind speculation. And the mechanism the Central Bank of Iraq has been meticulously building is nothing short of a masterclass in financial engineering, designed specifically to avoid the chaos of a sudden, uncontrolled shock to the system. The journey to unlock the dinar's true value has never been about a simple flip of a switch. It's been a deliberate, multi-phase process of strengthening the entire monetary framework from the inside out, and the 2025 budget acts as the final piece of structural support before the main event. Think of it this way: for decades, the Iraqi economy has been like a patient on life support, with the US dollar acting as the external machine, keeping its vital signs stable, but also preventing its own organs, its internal financial systems, from learning to function on their own. The primary goal of the CBI under the guidance of its governor, Ali al-Awlak, has been to wean the economy off this dollar dependency, and the progress on this front has been staggering and, frankly, underreported in the mainstream financial news. The launch and aggressive expansion of the electronic payment platform, the steadfast reduction in the amount of physical dollars being auctioned off to local banks, the crackdown on money laundering and smuggling that was bleeding the country's foreign reserves dry, these aren't isolated events. They are coordinated, strategic moves all pointing in one direction, creating a self-sustaining internal monetary environment where the dinar is the undisputed king of all transactions. From a loaf of bread to a multi-million-dollar infrastructure contract, this is the essential precondition for revaluation. You cannot have a strong, internationally traded currency if your own citizens and businesses don't have full faith in it for their daily lives. Now, enter the 2025 budget. When you analyze the numbers, the most telling aspect isn't just the exchange rate they did use, but the financial commitments they have made that are utterly incompatible with the old rate. The budget outlines staggering investments in reconstruction, energy, and technology projects with price tags denominated in the billions of dollars. When you convert those dollar amounts into dinars using the old program rate of 1:320, the resulting dinar figure becomes so astronomically large, so unwieldy, that it would instantly create hyperinflation within the domestic economy. The government would be printing dinars to pay for these projects at a catastrophic rate, devaluing the currency they are supposedly trying to strengthen. This is a mathematical and economic impossibility if the plan was to maintain the status quo. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that the budget was formulated with a different, significantly stronger exchange rate in mind, a rate that allows for these massive dollar-denominated projects to be funded with a reasonable, manageable amount of dinar currency. This is the hidden signal. The parliament, by approving this budget, has effectively given a legislative green light to a new monetary reality. They have committed to spending as if the dinar already holds a greater value, forcing the CBI's hand to align the official rate with this new fiscal reality. Furthermore, whispers from within the Finance Committee and key economic advisors point towards a critical detail. The budget likely contains contingency allocations and provisions for a comprehensive currency redenomination, not a redenomination of value, but of the physical notes themselves, replacing the large, cumbersome notes with smaller, more manageable ones, a move that always accompanies a significant increase in currency value to simplify transactions and signal a fresh start. This process, combined with the ongoing international settlements in dinar for trade with neighbors like Iran and Jordan, is creating a tangible, organic demand for the currency outside its borders, building the foundation for the eventual flotation on the international market. The budget, therefore, is not the announcement of the RV, it is the final, publicly approved blueprint that makes the RV an inevitable operational necessity rather than a distant theoretical possibility. So, we've connected the dots between the budget's numbers and the central bank's strategic preparations, which leads us to the most critical and personal question for every single person watching this right now: what happens next? And more importantly, what does it mean for you and your financial future? The period we are entering now is the final curtain call, the delicate and volatile window between the legislative approval embedded in the budget and the official public announcement from the Central Bank of Iraq, confirming the new exchange rate. And understanding the dynamics of this window is what will separate those who are positioned correctly from those who are left reacting to headlines. The first thing you will likely see, and we are already seeing the early tremors of this, is a series of seemingly contradictory statements from various government officials. Some will preach caution, others will hint at imminent change, and this is a completely normal part of the process designed to manage market psychology and prevent a speculative frenzy that could destabilize the entire plan. Do not be shaken by this. It is the standard operating procedure for a monetary reform of this magnitude. The key is to watch the actions, not just the words. The action is the budget being passed. The action is the continued reduction of the dollar auction. The action is the successful settlement of international trade in dinar. These are the unchangeable facts on the ground. The moment the CBI flips the switch, the transition will be swift and designed for maximum stability. They will not go from 1-320 to a final international market float in one single step. The most probable scenario, based on all historical precedents for post-conflict economic nations, is a significant initial revaluation that bridges the vast majority of the gap between the old program rate and the real, economically justified value based on Iraq's staggering asset base, which includes not just its proven oil reserves, but its massive untapped mineral wealth and agricultural potential. This initial rate will be a fixed, stronger rate, announced and enforced by the CBI, intended to instantly crush the parallel market and unify the country under a single, credible currency value. This is the moment that will trigger the first wave of life-changing financial transformations for holders of the dinar. Following this, after a period of consolidation, perhaps weeks or months, where the new rate is proven and holds stable, the CBI will then transition to a managed float, allowing the dinar to find its true market-driven price based on Iraq's exports and economic output. And given the nation's fundamental wealth, all credible economic modeling suggests that this market-driven price will settle at a level that is historically strong, permanently altering the global economic landscape and positioning Iraq as a new financial powerhouse. This is not a mere currency trade. This is a fundamental reassessment of a nation's entire worth, and you have the unprecedented opportunity to be on the ground floor. But this opportunity comes with a critical responsibility. The information space will become flooded with noise, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Your single greatest asset right now is not just the dinar you hold, the quality and clarity of the information you consume. You must have a plan for the first 72 hours after the announcement. You must understand the process of dealing with your bank or authorized exchange entity, and you must be mentally prepared for the psychological shift that comes with this level of change. This is why being part of an informed, rational, and data-driven community is no longer a luxury, it is an absolute necessity. If this analysis has resonated with you, if it has connected the pieces in a way that makes profound sense, then you need to take action right now to secure your position in this community. Do not be a passive observer of history. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because when the news breaks, I will be here immediately with a live stream, breaking down the official announcement, explaining exactly what the new rate means, and providing a clear step-by-step guide for your next moves. This channel is your command center for transparent, no-nonsense intelligence on the Iraqi Dinar RV. Also, share this video with one person you trust, someone who also needs to see the full picture beyond the hype and the fear. The journey we have all been on for so long is reaching its climax. The budget was the final key turning the lock. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and get ready. Your financial destiny is waiting on the other side of this screen.